Good morning, class.
Good morning,
Morning.
sir.
So, how was your sleep last night?
Fine, sir.
I'm glad it was because today we'll be talking or we'll be discussing a new lesson that will be helping you in your daily life. This will be helpful. Okay, before we start our discussion, we will pray first. Yoma Dirit, can you lead the prayer?
Please bow our head. Please be the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, now and forever. Amen.
Okay, thank you. So, before you take your seat, I want you to make sure that you have a good connection of internet and you're in a comfortable place. Okay. So last meeting class, I give you an assignment. Did you pass it already in my email?
Yes po, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. And I'll be checking it later. Last meeting, we discussed about kinetic energy. But kinetic energy, as based from what our discussion was, it is also under a broad topic, which is our main topic. What was our main topic, class? Again, what was our main topic?
Sir, work and energy, sir.
Correct. Very good. Okay. So, based from our discussion, work and energy has its own definition. So, what do you know about work, or what did you understand about work after our discussion? What did you understand about it? Is it literally referring to a job, the work,
Sir,
or Carmela?
I understand, sir, that work is yung transferring, sir, of energy from an object po, sir, duman sa panibagong object po, sir.
Okay, that's correct. Very good. So, let's see a picture card for you to understand or to remember what we've discussed based from what Carmela discussed or said. Okay, here's a picture of a man or of two men, which is the other man or the first man in the picture is working. But based from based from what Carmela said, it is not literally referring to a job or a work, but in science it refers to energy or the transfer of energy. Okay, so how about energy? What did you understand about energy? What was it? Its definition.
Sir, sir, energy is the capability, sir, to do work.
Thank you. Very good. So in the second picture, it is the opposite of what Carmela said because as you can see, from what the people think when they first heard energy, they think that it is referring to being tired or being sleepy, something like that, because they losing energy. But in science, it refers to the capability to do work. Okay, so let's see another picture to understand it better. So that is the meaning of work. It's the transferring of energy from one object to another. So you can see the hand or the hand of a person transfer its energy to the ball so that the ball will move and will hit the bottle and the ball will transfer another energy to the bottle. So that's what we've discussed in the previous discussion. Okay? So the same as the energy. Yeah. The energy here is what was transferred in the ball. That's why the ball has now the capability to do work, which is rolling to hit the bottle. Okay? Did you understand it, class?
Yes, sir.
No question from the previous discussion?
None po, sir.
Very good. So, before we begin our main topic today, I want you to analyze this picture. I want you to see uh, each picture and tell me what your observation is. But don't worry because I will be providing questions. Okay? So I'll be giving you at least 30 seconds to analyze it. That would be enough. Okay? Are you ready? Okay, you can do it. Okay? 30 seconds is done. So my first question, class, what is the boy doing in the picture? What does the caption?
Sir, a boy
Jomar?
pushing a wall po, sir.
Correct. That is correct. Jomar. How about the second picture, the man?
A man is lifting the box po, sir, tas ilalaag naman sa table.
Okay, very good. That was the picture. Pictures are showing us. So, do you think, class, the boy is transferring energy to the wall? Do you think it is giving its energy to the wall by pushing the wall? What is your
Yes po, sir, siguro.
No po, sir.
okay? What Carmela said, thank you for trying, Edric and Carmela. What Carmela said was correct. The boy is transferring energy to the wall. So how about the second picture, the man? Is it transferring energy to the box it is lifting? What do you think?
Yes po, sir.
Yes po, sir.
That's correct. So now that you know that both of them are transferring energy, do you think both of them are doing work? Because based from our past discussion, work, its definition is transferring of energy to another object. So we understood that we knew that this two person in the picture is transferring energy. So do you think both of them are doing work in each object that they are touching? What is your guess? You can just give me your guess.
Sir, try, sir.
Jomar?
Based sa dating discussion to po, sir. Yan to, sir. Yes po, sir, ang answer po, sir.
Okay, thank you for answering, Jomar, and thank you for trying. But in reality, class, I'm going to give you already the answer. The boy is not doing work, even though it is transferring energy to the wall. The one who is transferring, the one who is doing work is only the man. But will understand or will know why throughout our discussion. So are you excited to know what will be our discussion today, class?
Yes, sir.
I am glad to hear that. So our discussion for today is about gravitational potential energy. Have you heard this terms? Gravitational potential energy.
Gravity lang, sir. Yung
Gravity po, sir.
gravitational, dahil pa
Po.
masyado, sir.
I understand that. So these terms will be connected to work because we already discussed work, but we will know more about work. We that's why if we know more about work, we can use it to connect to this gravitational potential energy. And likewise, gravitational potential energy, it can be useful to us to understand work more or better. Okay? So I'm gonna show you class a picture. Yeah, and based from what you said, you only understand or know gravity. So, what is gravity? What do you think gravity is?
Gravity, sir, is the pull of the earth, sir.
Yes, thank you for answering. And that's correct. Because what can you observe in the first picture? In the first picture?
Ang ano po, sir, naga ang mga araw po, sir, papunta po, sir, sa center po ng Earth po.
Yes, that's correct. That arrows refers to the force class. So, meaning the force is always going downward when it comes to gravity. The gravity, according to Carmela, is the pull force. Yeah, it is from above. the magnetic field of our Earth is pulling it downward. That's why in the second picture, what do you think will happen to this Chad when it dip from the chair?
Babalik pa rin po, sir, sa floor.
Yes, that's correct. So that is the mechanism of gravity. When you jump from something, you will always fall into the ground. So what about potential energy? Because I just gave you an idea about gravity. Because our topic is gravitational potential energy, right? So what about potential energy? I gave here a definition or two definitions of potential energy, which you can just read to me. Who wants to read?
Sir, po, sir. Potential energy. The energy that is stored or conserved in an object that based on the position or arrangement of the object. It is an energy that has the potential to do work.
Okay, thank you. So we already discussed about energy. And according to our definition, energy refers to the capability to do work. Is potential energy an energy?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
because very good. Because as you can see, it is potential energy. It's just named potential. Okay. So if it is energy, meaning it also has the capability to do work because it is an energy. Am I right? So that will give you an idea about our topic for today, which is gravitational potential energy. So yeah, before we proceed, I just want you to observe these two pictures. Do you think it refers to potential energy, which according to Carmela, what Carmela read, is stored energy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's correct. Because what happens when you cut the feet of this cable on the side where the books are placed? Do you think the book
It,
will fall?
it will fall po, sir.
Of course,
Yes po.
that's correct. And the laptop also. And sayang. Kaya wag kayo magpe-place ng laptop dyan sa top. Okay, that's correct. The books in the laptop will fall because it has a potential energy. It has a stored energy. And what is the other reason why it will fall? What have we discussed?
Because of the gravity, sir.
Okay, that's correct. Thank you for answering. And it's the same in the second picture. When you, what do you think will happen when you make a hole in the dam? Do you think the water will rush going down?
Yes po, sir.
Correct. So that is just these pictures are just giving you idea about potential energy. So here I want you to watch a video which will serve as an our activity for today and observe what is happening in the video. And after that, I will be providing you the guide questions so that you can answer after watching the video. There, I already provided it, the guide question. So I gave it to your president, Christian Bolano. I gave him the video. So he can play it for us because my internet connection is slow. So I gave it to your president, Christian Bolano. Okay, Christian, you can play it.
Go, President.
Okay. Thank you for your President Christian. So I'm gonna provide the just wait class. I forgot to share it the screen. Did you watch the video class clearly?
Yes,
Is it clear to
sir.
you?
Yes, sir. Sir, ikaw po sa sir nasa video.
I forgot. I was that.
Yes.
Ano? That video.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Sir, plus 10.
Pogi po, sir.
Five. I'm just kidding. Okay, thank you for that compliment. So here, can you see the presentation class?
Yes, sir.
So here are the guide questions for the video that you watched. So the man is me. Okay, what did I do in the video? What did you first observe? What was in the video?
Ano, sir, the man is holding a box. Then after that, sir, the box was full. Wow. Then,
Okay,
sir, tigkuha niya po. And
and
nilagay po dun sa table. Or
okay,
washing machine ba yun?
okay, that's correct. Very good for a good observation.
Thank you, sir.
So do you think the man used energy to lift the box? Do you think he used energy to lift the box?
Yes, sir. Kasi kung wala, di po siya, sir, nag-apply ng energy. Di mo naman po, sir, malilift si box.
Okay, thank you. So what was the direction of the force the man applied to the box? What do you think was the direction of the force? The
Down,
upward?
upward,
downward.
sir. Upward po, sir.
Okay, very good. Then it's upward because the man is lifting the cartoon or the box. That's why it's upwards. What about the direction of the box? Is it upward or sideward? What is the direction of the box? Mhm. The man, when I lift, is it up also or is it sideward or down?
Downward, sir.
Upward din, sir.
Thank you. Right. Formula is correct. Uh, is it upward? Because when I lift it, my pole is upward. So it's the box. So what happened to the box when I let go of that? Did it fall?
Na-fall po, sir.
Nahulog.
Very good. Thank you. What you observe, and that's what you can infer based from the video. So do you think, going back to the picture that I first showed you in the first slide, do you think I told you that the boy is not doing a work because even though he's just transferring energy, it's just transferring energy. So more to the definition of work. While in the second picture, a man lifting a box to place in a table. What do you think is the direction of the force of the boy? We are going to understand now why the boy is doing work, even though he's transferring energy. But I'm gonna ask you a question first for us to understand it. So, what is the direction of the force used by the boy to push the? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
The boy is pushing the wall. What is the direction of the force? You can see it already. Is it left or is it right? Or
Left.
is it parallel?
It is going to the wall po, sir, yung force.
Yeah. Do you think when the boy push the wall, do you think it will move? Do you think
No, sir.
that's correct? It will not move. So if you push it and think it will move parallel to the force of the boy? Not, right? Because at the first place, it will not move. Hindi gagalaw yung wall. Kaya, hindi rin siya magiging parallel sa force ng bata o ng boy if it push it forward. How about in the second picture? What do you think is the motion of or the direction of the force of the man?
Upward.
Upward, sir.
Like what you saw in the video. What about the direction of the box? Do you think the box
Yes.
the difference of the two? Are you understand? Are you getting it now? The boy,
Sir.
the wall, it did not move. It distance. While the he lifted the box to the direction of the force. So that is another definition of work class. Work is not just transferring energy to one object. It also means that the object who received energy, it must move a distance and parallel to the force. If I move it forward, the box must move or should move forward also. That's when the time we can consider it work. It's not just transferring energy. How about when I push a box and then the box move backward? It is not work because it is opposite to the direction of my force. To be considered as work, it must be parallel to my force. Do you get it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any question about what I said? None? Okay. So that is the another concept that is related to work. Now we are going to define gravitational potential energy. Because we're talking about energy. Let's go back to the picture here. The energy that the man is transferring to the box. What do you think? What do you think is the kind of energy it is? Do you have any guess? Do you think it is an energy with a name? Do you have any guess? None? Okay. The energy that is being transferred to the box is called potential energy. Specifically, it is called gravitational potential energy. That is the energy that is being transferred to the box. So it has a name. So moving forward, we will define gravitational potential energy. So here are the definition. Who wants to read? Who wants to read the definition of gravitational potential
Sir,
energy? Okay, Edric.
gravitational potential energy is one of the three types of potential energy. Gravitational potential energy, elastic potential energy, chemical potential energy. It is the energy transferred to an object when brought above from it is also the energy lost by the object when it fell to the ground.
So based on what Edric read, three types of potential energy and gravitational potential energy is one of those. So that we are chemical, will be just talking about gravitational potential energy. Potential energy is the energy transferred to an object when brought above, meaning it, when it brought above, it will have a potential energy. It is lost object when built to the ground. So it's also the energy that will be lost when you let go of the object. It will fall to the ground. Energy from gravity or something above. When you bring something above, what will happen is that you are opposing the force of gravity. That's why it is gravitational potential energy because it talks about gravity. So moving forward, this this these are the mechanisms of gravitational energy. To understand it better, we'll read this for that or for ideas or concepts about gravitational potential energy or in short GPE. So who wants to read again? Who wants to read the definition or the mechanism of GPE?
Sir.
Sir.
Okay, Christian.
The mechanism of gravitational potential energy is when an object lifted from the ground gains gravitational potential energy. It loses the energy when it falls to the ground. The next is it is when an object is lifted above the ground, its gravitational potential energy increases. When it fell to the ground, its gravitational energy decreases.
Thank you for the first two. I've already gave it to you. Based from the definition of the GPE or gravitational potential energy, that when you lift something above or from the ground, it will gain potential gravitational potential energy. And when you let go of it will lose the potential or the gravitational potential energy. So here is the new idea in the second and the third and the fourth sentence, wherein when you lift the object from the ground, as you increase the distance from the ground of this object, it will also possess or the potential energy will also increase. For example, here you can see me. Can you see me in the picture? A video.
Yes, sir.
Here,
Yes, sir.
example, this is the ground, and you bring it up here, and that will mean that this object already possesses a potential energy. But if I bring it more, if if I increase its distance from this ground, it will gain more and more gravitational potential energy. So that is the mechanism of gravitational potential energy. The more na malayo ka sa ground, the more that you gain potential or gravitational potential energy. So here is an illustration. So we understood the first picture refers to the gravity that is always downward. What about the second picture? Who can tell me something? What is your idea of action
Ano, sir? At ini, sir, nasa tahaw po, sir.
picture? That's correct.
The man po, sir, is lifting a box. Siguro po yan na may bigat na 200 kilos. Then, di niya po kaya, sir, mabuhat. Then, yung pangalawang boy po, kayang-kaya niyang magbuhat kasi 50 kilos lang po.
Yes, that's correct. So that is why we are talking about the gravity. In sa mga susunod na slides, we will understand more about this picture. Why it talks about weight of an object, okay, and the height. In the second picture, you can observe there that when the child let go of the ball, it loses a potential energy. That is the meaning of this third picture. So to understand it better, we'll connect it to the work. We'll relate it to work, okay? Using mathematical formula. So do you think it will be hard because it is mathematically represented?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let's see if it's really hard. So in the picture, here is the relationship of work and the gravitational potential energy. I'll be reading it to you. Work is done when an energy is transferred to an object. We already know that, right? That work means transferring of energy to another object. Am I right, class?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Object must move a certain distance. Based from our discussion, based from your activity class, the object who received energy must move a distance parallel to the force. Was it correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So here is the mathematical representation for that. Meaning, if work means the object who received an energy must move a distance, it means in the mathematical representation, there will be a, wait, okay, there will be a distance. Yeah, as you can see here. Of course, there will be a force because you use force to move the object, right? So here will be the representation of it. Is equals to force multiplied to distance. Because the object must move a distance to be considered its work. And it's the simplest representation. W pointing toward equal to F times. So definition of potential of energy class. Energy of the work. Meaning potential energy will cause a work because energy has the capability to do work. Am I right, class? Meaning it will result to a work. So in mathematical representation, it will be like this, class. Can you see it? My arrow. Meaning work is equals to potential energy because energy is the capability to do work. I always repeat that, class, because I want you to understand. Because energy is the capability to do work, meaning energy is producing work, meaning energy is equals work. So does it mean potential energy is also equals to force times distance? Because we said that work is equals to force times distance. Am I right, class? So does
Yes,
it mean if work is equals to potential energy, does it mean it will also be like this? What is your guess, class? Do you think it will also be like this? There's a question mark here. What is your guess?
baka. No, sir.
Okay. Thank you for trying, Anna
Yes, sir.
and Edric. Thank you for your answers. So we'll know here in the next slide. Here. Can you see it clearly? Because I remove it from present full screen. Can you still see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the question is potential energy is this equal to force times distance? The answer is yes. However, in another way. Because here, sa potential energy, iba lang ang pagkaka-present niya. Kumbaga, dito, dun sa unang slide, ang work, katumbas niya ang PE. Nangahulugan, itong work, para lang siya nag-ibang anyo. Nagbihis lang siya ng ibang damit. Nag-iba lang siya, kumbaga nag-disguise lang siya, pero work pa rin siya, itong PE. Do you get it, class? So, here, kung nag-disguise yung work as PE, yung F tapos P, mag-disguise din sila. They will also disguise themselves. They will look that's the same. They are all different because force stated differently. Pwede siyang sa force is equal weight at ang weight is equal to mass in gravity or multiplied to gravity. Meaning, this will be the new phase of potential energy. Ito yung magiging bago niyang muka. Imbis na force, it will be mass times gravity. Yan na yung bago niyang muka. And distance will also change. Kasi itong distance, mukha to ni work. Ang mukha ni potential energy ay ito, si height. Pero parehas lang sila distance. Yung height, mataas lang at yung distance, side lang. Diba? Pero they are both referring to distance. So the result will be the new phase of work. Potential energy will be the new phase, and its new phases also will be mass, gravity, and height. And you'll just have to multiply them to get potential energy. Did you get it, class?
Yes, sir.
So that is the formula, or that is the formula for potential energy. Simply, you can just write it as work, PE is equal to M, small letter M, multiplied to G, multiplied to H. That is the most simplest representation of that. Mass times gravity times height. So, we'll be solving a problem, class, because we have a mathematical formula. We'll see if we can use them or it in solving a problem, a real life problem. So here, the problem, class, is a man lifted a box or a 1 point or 1 kilogram box 50 centimeter above the floor. What would be the gravitational potential energy? So we're looking for gravitational potential energy. So all you have to do, class, the first thing you have to do in solving mathematical equation or formula or problem is to draw a representation for you to understand it. So according to the problem, there is a box 1 kilogram in mass, and it is lifted above from the floor 50 centimeter. So this will be the height and this will be the mass. So I'm gonna show you a technique or tips in solving this problem. So first, look for the given. What was the given? 1 kilogram and 50 centimeter. Use the formula to identify the given. What was the formula again? PE is equal to?
Mass times gravity times height.
Okay, that's correct. So we have to look back to the formula because we want to see which of the formula or which of the part of the formula is can be substituted by the given. For example, dito, class, nakuha natin yung mass sa given at yung height. Ibig sabihin, mayroon na tayong mass at mayroon na tayong pang-replace sa height. Mayroon na tayong pang-replace sa kanila. So the next procedure is to see if the given is ready for substitution. Do you think, class, it is ready for substitution?
No, sir.
Okay, that's correct. Because as you can see, potential energy, its unit is joules. And the equivalent unit for joules is kilogram times meter squared divided by second raised to 2 or second squared. Meaning, it's meter, it should be meter because in the unit, there is no centimeter here. Can you see a centimeter in the unit? Potential energy. Yes, that's correct. There's no centimeter there. That's why this 50 centimeter should be in meter. So we have to convert it first. So you just have to convert it, and the result would be 0.5 meter. Did you get it, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What I'm doing is I'm just giving you the way to solve the problem because later on you will be solving a problem. That's why I'm not getting your participation because I'm teaching you how to solve the problem. So the next step is substitute the given to the formula. So the given are 1 kilogram, 9.8 meter per second squared times 0.5 meter. How did we get the 9.8 meter per second squared? It is a fixed value. It That acceleration due to gravity class is always the same. It's always 9.8 meter per second squared. That's why we don't have to find it. The only givens that we have to find are the mass and the height, which was provided to us. The 1 kilogram and the 6.5 the height. Okay, so now we just have to be 4.9 joules. It is also equivalent to 4.9 kilogram times meter squared divided by second squared. Here we'll be using joule because it's common unit for energy or work. Did you get it, class? And how can be computed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very
Sir.
good. Now your turn. I just 5 minutes to solve it. But I give here a reference or a hint for you to understand the problem. The book, regarding this problem, if the same 1 kilo is 5 meter above the table, but the table top is 1 meter above the floor, meaning the book class, according to the problem, is lifted 1 meter from the table. So the distance of from the table is 0.5 meter. Did you get it, class? Because it was 5 meter the table. But the table top is 1 meter above or above the floor, meaning the table also has a distance which is 1 meter from the floor. And our reference level is the floor, meaning from the floor, we will compute the height or we will find the height of the book. What is the height of the book? You can just see it clearly if you understand what I've said already, okay? So you can try and answer it. It's okay if you make mistake, as long as you answer it. I'm gonna take it and only one person will be presenting. So I can you can start now. I'll just be giving you 5 minutes. Are you done, class? Is anybody of you already answered or solved the problem? You can just provide me the answer, or you can just read the process. What are the givens? You can provide me the givens, and you can provide me the final answer. Okay, somebody is presenting. Ana Carmela. Okay, Carmela.
Sir,
So, can you present it to the class? You can start presenting. Ah, mute ka siguro, Ana.
hi. Yun po.
You can proceed.
Okay, in this activity here is the given. The mass is 1.0 kilogram. The height is 1. Inat po siya, sir, kasi yung lift po, ibig sabihin, di man yan mabago. Inat lang po yung height nila. Kaya 1.0 plus 0.5 meters. Tapos po, ning sa rock is, namali lang po sa rock. Height is ba to? Yes, height. Then, using the formula po, sir, PE is equals to mass times gravity times height. Tapos, you convert it. It is equals to 1.0 kilogram times 9.8 kasi po, fixed naman po ang gravity times meters. And the answer po, sir, is 14.7. Yes, po, sir.
Okay. Thank you for answering, Carmela, and for presenting it to the class. Your answer is correct. Let's see. Yes, it's correct. As I said, the answer is 14.7 joules. Because according to Carmela, as she said, you have to, the given is 0.5 meter, 1.5, 1.0 meter, and 1.0 kilogram. You don't have to find the gravity because as we said, gravity is always 9.8 meter per second squared. But you have to find the height. And uh, if the reference point is floor, meaning you have to add 1.0 to 1.5 to reach to the book because that is the height of the book. So 1.0 plus 0.5 meter is equal to 1.5 meter. So you have the height now, and you also have the mass. You just have to multiply them all together. 1.5 meter times 1.0 kilogram multiplied to 9.8 meter per second squared. And the result is 14.7 joules. Okay. Do you have any more question, class, based from the computation that or the problems or the mathematics?
None so far, sir.
None,
Okay.
sir.
I'll just be providing you assignment for that so that we can see if you really understood the computation. So now we will be proceeding, class, to the generalization based from our discussion. I guess you really or you do have some realization based from our discussion. And this one here, the question, how can you minimize the use of energy too much, is one of the realization that I wanted to tell you using this discussion. So, do you have any idea, class? How can you minimize using energy too much? Do you think there's a way? Because, for example, in lifting an object, do you think you can minimize uh, your energy or in using an energy in lifting an object? Do you have any idea? Do you have any guess or just a guess or opinion? Do you think there's a way to minimize using your energy in lifting something?
Sir, try sir. I realize sir na kung magagamit ka man sir ng too much energy, sabi nga po duman, di mo malilift ang sarong bagay kapag sobrang bigat. Kaya, para minimize mo ang paggamit ng too much energy, bawasan mo sir ang gabat para malift mo siya.
That's correct. Very good, Carmela. That is one way because we know that potential energy is computed using mass, the mass of an object, gravity, and the height. So there are three factors that affect your lifting. These three factors affects how you lift an object. You are fighting the gravity, the mass of an object, and the height. So that's why all you have to do is reduce the mass because you cannot reduce the gravity because gravity is always downward. And the height, you cannot reduce it because the height is always there. It is already given. All you can do is reduce the mass. Is that clear, class? Thank you for answering, Carmela, and very good for that answer. So here are some techniques you can do. For example, there is a proper way of lifting an object. What we usually do in lifting an object is yumuyuko tayo. Yumuyuko tayo ng sobra, tapos saka na natin ililift yung object. Mali pala yung class. That is wrong because you are putting weight on your back, which is wrong. You have to put your weight on your knee so that hindi ka ma-injured, kumbaga. Because what if the mass of the object that you're lifting is very heavy? So that is stated in the second picture. In the first picture, as you can see, if the object is too heavy, what thing can you use? What object can you use? What do you think is a useful object for lifting an object or bringing an object that is very heavy? You can use, based from the picture, what can you use? What is the stick? Blanket.
Blanket, sir.
You can just use it because the friction is being reduced by this blanket. So that is some ways in minimizing the energy or the use of energy. In the second realization, what can you observe in this picture?
Sir,
Okay, Jomar?
naggamit na sila sir ng mga sir, mga machine para mas mapadali sir yung pagbubuhat nila sir.
Yes, that's good. Very good. That is how humans cope up with lifting objects. Instead of just lifting it using our bare hands, we can use technologies like this, as you can see. We can lift heavy objects using these technologies. So, will you help her? The picture is showing us an elder woman, or yes. So, will you help her? Will you help her in lifting that object she is holding?
In reality, sir, yes. Pero as you can see, sir, kaya niyo naman pong buhatin.
Of course, yes. So the picture shows us that the lady is holding a basket with just a clothes. But sometimes we can see our grandma or mother or parents, even though they are holding something like this, a very uh, light object, we also want to help them. We will be prompt to help them because, as you can see in the picture, she is tired and doing a lot of work. That is our parents, and grandmas. So to minimize the use of energy for them, we can just help them in doing some lifting or in some many ways. Did you understand, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you get any ideas about the use of potential energy in our life? Do you
Yes,
think?
sir.
Okay. Thank you for thank you for that. And this is the realizations that you can get based from our lesson. Do you think, class, you can produce work without using energy? Based from our lesson, we're just going back to our lesson. We're just recapping it. Do you think you can produce work without an energy?
No, sir.
Yes, that's good. And that specific energy could be gravitational potential energy. So without gravitational potential energy, we can lift an object. We can bring it upward because of not being present. So that's all, class, for our discussion for today. So I bet you're already uh, tired because of the long discussions. So I'll just be providing you this quiz and you can answer it and give this to me or to my email. You can just give it to my email or send it to my email.
Okay po, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Are you done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here are your assignments. Do a screenshot.
Done, sir.
Thank, thank you for listening to us. And tomorrow we'll talk more exciting lesson. But do work and live. That's all, class. See you.
Bye,
Sir.
sir. Thank you po.
Bye. Nang hiya kayo. Wala na. Oh!